Okay.
So, like I said, Peter Obi is a viable product that any party that has him will have some level of advantage.
Okay.
It's a reference point in this country.
Okay.
By all means. You
know. Chief, I know
if PDP desires to approach him,
okay,
I will support that.
Okay, Chief, I know you're a strong member of the PDP, but is it fair to bring a Peter Obi into the disarray called the PDP, as the PDP is being run by Wike as we speak? Somebody that has said he can cause crisis if things don't go his way. He has caused crisis before, put you in limbo. Because as far as I'm concerned, Chief, you might want to oppose me. Wike owns PDP as we speak today. Tomorrow, things might change. That's why I say you have a right. It's free speech to oppose me. Wike owns PDP today. In fact, I sang a song this morning. Yes. I said he's got the PDP in his hands. So that's where Wike stands today. So you think it's fair to bring a Peter Obi into that fray?
Well, you have used very strong words, Rufai. I like your analysis very much. But, the human behavior is not a function of statistics. In politics, most times 1 + 1 is not 2. In fact, it could be 100, and once people accept it, it becomes the official figure. So that people are leaving PDP to go to APC does not make APC any better than PDP. It shows that people have no values. That is why the country is not moving. I was chairman of the screening panel for Northeast in 2003. 2010, I screened the whole Northeast. Most of our governors today passed through me. These are the kind of resolve you have as a party member to make a contribution, not necessarily pecunious. A lot of people come into this business because they want to make money. And that is why the country is not moving. We must have to have honor and values that you cherish. If you don't have that, and like I said, somebody moving, I see the comments being made even on your station about the hunger in this country. From the time of Buhari, as far as I was concerned, that was 8 years of no governance. Nothing happened. And then President Tinubu came up, and in difference to Tinubu, I said, anybody else coming into office after Buhari would have had the same problem Tinubu is having. The only thing that he might have a different methodology to be able to iron out things. The country has slumped so much that there's no magic. You only need some level of determination to do something. And if people desire that Peter Obi, from his record as governor of Anambra State, his integrity, his honesty, he's one governor, nobody has ever pointed an accusing finger on him, positive or negative, negative. Every reference made of Peter Obi is positive. And this country requires somebody like him, at least to give hope. Governance is not just about only constructing road and doing that. You give hope. Because politics depends on doses of civility. This civility we haven't seen. And it's talking paranoia.
Sir, with due respect, is this Chief Dan Ulasi I'm talking to?
Yes.
You, the same you that spoke against Peter Obi, as of 2017 that said he divided Anambra. The same you, Chief. Is it you that are speaking today glowingly about Peter Obi? Because I'm surprised.
Why don't you put me in proper perspective. I said in that interview, I think it was on this channel, that we were with him in a meeting. We had a meeting in Enugu and went to Oka, and he told us that he was desirous of being a presidential candidate. And thereafter, he left the PDP and went to Labour Party. And I condemned it. If not on your station, on AIT or other stations, I condemned it. I didn't harbor that behavior, and I told him. He came to my house. I said, what you did was, unfortunate. But still, even though he did that and I didn't like it, he had the right to do it. He had the right. He had the constitutional right to do it. That is how he wanted to, exhibit his interest in political leadership. But I didn't support that. So what I'm saying is not in contradiction to what I said in the past. Absolutely not.
Listen, this guy called Peter Obi is not an enigma like Bola Tinubu, somebody that you cannot trace his past. It is so hard to come to the point where you think that you will criticize Peter Obi, but you have to do that with reference. And Chief Dan Ulasi covered those references. First of all, he says Peter Obi is a viable product, that any party that has him will have some level of advantage. Literally, Peter Obi is the product right now in the Nigerian political system that mirrors hope and the kind of future that we want to have right now. It is Peter Obi, whether or not you like it. It is Peter Obi, whether or not you're an APC supporter, even if you're a supporter of Sowore, because of his different opinion and stance about things, Peter Obi is a viable candidate. Peter Obi is a reference point in this country. There's no other glowing accolade you can give another person that, you know, uh, um, will speak volume. His integrity speaks for him. His character speaks for him. His integrity speaks volume for him. See, one of the biggest troubles Wike have with Peter Obi is that everything that Wike aspires to want to be is what Peter Obi really is. Everything. And that's the same thing people talk about. People talk about Omoyele Sowore. Everything that Omoyele Sowore wants to have right now, the number, the people, Peter Obi has it. So sometimes people say that's the reason why he criticizes Peter Obi all the time. Well, people, Nigerians, like Dan Ulasi said, Peter Obi mirrors hope. Hope. He says, from the record of Peter Obi, his integrity, his honesty, no one has ever pointed an accusing finger on him. He's asked them several times, go bring the evidence. Bring an evidence that I stole from Anambra State. Bring that evidence. Do you understand? What a glowing reference that this man, who has in time past criticized Peter Obi, and I will tell you that Rufai was right. I will tell you that Rufai was right. Dan Ulasi criticized Peter Obi and said Peter Obi split Anambra across religious lines. So he did criticize Peter Obi because of the Willie Obano time when it was, Peter Obi was finishing his time and was going to take over from him. So that's about that argument, really. It was not about the fact that Peter Obi stole something from anyone or from the state. Every reference made of Peter Obi is positive. I'm saying that again. Every reference made of this man is positive. But Nigeria needs change. And Dan Ulasi says Nigeria requires someone like Peter Obi to give hope. Do you understand what that means? In essence, he says Peter Obi is the president Nigeria needs to give hope. Most of the children born in the time of Buhari to this Bola Tinubu time, most of them have never known anything more than hardship, because this political party just keep dropping Nigeria into one level of poverty into another level, one level of poverty to another level of poverty. Most children born under this APC government are born into poverty. It's how bad this political party is, a directionless one. But in 2027, we have a chance. We have a chance. And it's a pity that I understand the political difference in the viewpoint of Peter Obi and Sowore. If Sowore could have just said, let's band together. I've said this before. If Sowore was saying to Peter Obi, band with me, you will be the president for now. Let's shape Nigeria to what we want it to be. Imagine that is the case, where it's not become about competence. We'll be talking about South North the dichotomy, not anymore. We'll be talking going from one level of strength to another level of strength, because the youth will be behind Sowore, will be behind Peter Obi. The Nigerian people will be behind Peter Obi and Sowore. And guess what? Even if Sowore never gets to be vice president, but then putting those forces together, even APC and PDP combined will be afraid, because now it will be Nigerians that own the street, that own the polling unit, that own the polling booths. Nobody will be able to go back and say they want to go and steal elections. Nowhere. It's the biggest coalition you can get. A coalition between Omoyele Sowore and Peter Obi. I have said this every time and I'm repeating it again. Sentimentally speaking, as much as I believe that, or I think that Sowore constantly attacks Peter Obi for his own selfish gain, really. However, binding them together, Sowore getting another position somewhere in the Obi's cabinet for the time being, for me, I'm telling you, is the most potent force to reshape the Nigerian political space. And I'm saying that because there's still time for Peter Obi to move. And you see that ADC will be crushed to powder, so also will be APC as well. And we have a new political spectrum that will change the entire nation. Again, Peter Obi is that president Nigeria needs to give hope. Nigeria requires someone like Peter Obi to give hope, to give direction. And Dan Ulasi was spot on. Not all these are political, bandits that are defecting without values. According to the words of Dan Ulasi, they're just defecting because they have no values. People who have no honor, no values. It says the 8 years of Buhari is 8 years without governance. This 2 year Bola Tinubu, where's the governance? Do you understand? I'm saying it again, as he said it. Peter Obi is the reference point in this country. Imagine you're working with this man and you say, I work with Peter Obi for 8 years. It tells you they look at you with integrity because that's the first way they will see you. Every reference made of Peter Obi is one that is positive. Please, can you say the same thing of our current president? Can you say the same thing of Atiku Abubakar? Can you say the same thing of Amechi? Can you say the same thing of El Rufai? I've just mentioned the big wigs that we think are potentially going to be contestants in the 2027 election. All those people, side by side against Peter Obi, they fall flat. The man beats them head on. If it's not for INEC rigging, we won't be talking about an election in 2027 where an article will be mentioned, or even Bola Tinubu with this abysmal regime that it has been. We're talking about the change that we require. I'm saying all of this so that because I want you to put your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And also recommend this channel to others. I'll catch you up in the next video. But remember, 2027 is the fight for the soul of our country, and we must take Nigeria back from the hands of these political bandits, according to the words of Sowore. God bless you. Bye bye for now.